This is up from -2%. People thought they might lose 2% of their income, but now in November, this is up to 5.1%. With respect to credit cards, what we see is that there are slightly fewer who are reaching the borrowing limit. This is down from 81% to 75% between June and November. And this is consistent with national trends. People are using their credit cards less. The average credit card debt is up from roughly $6,000 to $8,000 between June and November, but the median is actually down. It is down fairly dramatically from $3,889 to $446 between June and November. In terms of rent and mortgage payments, so what we see is this movement between 11 and 13% between June and November. But I think that this change, actually, the big change took place before we started our survey. So this is roughly, I guess, the equilibrium, because it hasn't changed month to month, not that much. In terms of financial literacy, I'm slightly worried because financial literacy seems to be somewhat low given the crisis. There are roughly 60% who are checking their credit scores and roughly 60% who are making out household budgets. And in a crisis period, you need to be adjusting on an intertemporal basis. You need to be doing this consistently. You need to update constantly. So I think this is somewhat worrisome. So in terms of what's next, in phase 2 of the survey, the web-based survey, we're going to start in mid-December or early January. And what we're also going to do is to put key questions from our survey on the State of the State survey to compare, given the broader sample, a larger sample, and more representative sample of Michigan households. So we'll find out if our data are consistent with a broader sample and better sample. So from the survey results, any recommendations would be preliminary and should be offered with caution. But being a good economist, I'm going to do so anyway. So I think one of the main things that has to be done is that uncertainty has to be addressed. It seems as though this is the big news of the survey over this period. And what I observe is that there's classic market failure, with the market acting different from what society would do otherwise. So there are growing social and economic costs, for example, deteriorating neighborhoods, problems with public safety. And what we need is more incentives to keep homeowners in their homes, and this should outweigh the incentives to keep them from accumulating fees, keep them in default, and in foreclosure proceedings. One example is the Philadelphia foreclosure diversion program, and this program, there are estimates that vary, have kept 60 to 78% of those participating in the program from foreclosure. This is through mediation. I think there's also an opportunity for policymakers, to the extent they can, to promote financial literacy. And this means promoting household financial sustainability and promoting forward-looking behavior through savings, through retirement, and through debt management. And particularly given long-term trends, Michigan has got to continue investing in key areas. For example, in education. So this is the surest way to provide a buffer against declining personal incomes that we saw and future shocks. Developing infrastructure, for example, public transportation, and other infrastructure that would be appropriate for the state, or more appropriate for the state. And I think, since I do the economics of innovation, I really think this is some place where Michigan already has an advantage and could leverage that. For example, Michigan has the 7th highest number of patents taken out in the U.S. Patent Office. 7 out of all the states in the U.S. So this is just after California, Illinois, New Jersey, and New York. This is huge. So what's happening to all of that invention? We should find a way to leverage that invention to convert this into success at innovation. I think there's a lot that can be done. So thank you for your attention and welcome your questions. So we have, they're, I guess, younger relative to, not younger relative to the population of Michigan. So the average age is 44, and the median age is 45. It's a really tight band.